Yeah. Cameras are recording and your mics are on.
Fucking hey. Awesome. We're good on the audio and stuff? Yeah, you don't have to
Looks
look
good.
in here. This is fine. They're dynamic mics, right? That's what we call them. That way they don't pick up anything sound. Alright. Yeah, I'm excited.
Howdy.
No, yeah, I'm excited. I love it. I'm like, fuck it, why not? Finally got this motherfucker. It's been. No, I'm happy. I'm super stoked that you're here. So I'm just gonna say that.
I'm stoked.
You know what I mean? Awesome. All right, cool. I think we're just gonna get into it.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to the Lemonade Podcast. I'm just kidding. Is that how I started? I don't remember. What's going on, folks? Welcome to another episode of the Lemonade Podcast. I'm your host, Frank. Here at the Lemonade Podcast, we go by the same: when life gives you lemons, we make lemonade and pour it on them. Not only with that, we also hope to encourage, inspire, and empower not only those of you tuning in, but our guest. And today's guest is Jess.
Yay.
There you go. There's your intro. Nah. Welcome.
That's all. Later.
Welcome. I'm stoked to have you here.
Yeah, me too.
Like, super stoked. As we talked before, and I mentioned this to my nephew who was on before, I told him that he was one of the reasons why I decided to do the podcast. The podcast, but also the whole Lemonade movement. Now, the movement, we won't go into it itself because it has so many elements to it, one of those being the podcast itself. You know, so, and if people have been listening, they know what we're about, what we bring, it's just our platform.
Yeah.
For those people that, the artists, creators, whatnot. You know, anybody out here making lemonade. So
Yes.
Today we're here to talk about the lemon or lemons given in life to you. Excuse me. This is raw.
Excused.
So we could burp.
Excuse you.
We could burp and you can curse. So if you need to. I don't think I've ever heard
Fuck
you
yeah.
curse.
What?
Oh, there she did say motherfucker. What did she?
I did.
We got her. No. Yeah, it's a free space.
Okay.
And a safe space.
Sweet.
Blah, blah, blah. Anywho, but with that, one of the biggest things too, like I said, is I thought about my nephew and also you. And you are actually all over my house. As far as your art.
Yes.
Everywhere
I see
I
that.
go, yeah, there's a little bit of every, piece of you. And, I want to say.
And I appreciate that.
5. Oh, no. It's my pleasure.
It's nuts to see.
I have like maybe, I want to say 1, 2, 3 decently sized. I have one big one. Nobody can see it right now, obviously, 'cause we're here and if you're listening.
Never
but
will.
It's one of my favorite pieces. It was done on plywood.
Yeah.
And I remember you doing this piece in front of your studio. You were outside and you were working on it. I was like, yo, I gotta have that. And you're like, nah, I don't. Give me some time. I gotta. And just
Pause.
Yeah, and like any artist, you just said that, like, you are hard on yourself. You look at it, you're like,
I'm a straight up bully.
Wow.
To myself. Not to anyone else. I don't inflict that on
Curses and she's
others.
a bully. Wow.
I'm a wonderful person.
You heard her. No, Jess, you are a wonderful person. You are
Thank you.
super creative.
Thanks.
One of the dopest artists I know. And I don't know many. I'm kidding. No, no, but I'm super stoked to have you. Like, I don't know if you understand. Matt, the tech guy, doesn't really understand because he doesn't know. But he's seen your stuff too around my house, at my old place, at this place. I know that this intro is getting super long, and we're gonna get
not at all.
to your story. But
Take
I'm gonna
your
go
time.
back just a little bit before COVID. When I found you. We found each other. We're going to put it that. My daughter and I were at Chicano Park.
Yes.
Or Barrio Logan.
Was that your first time?
No, I've been there before.
Okay.
But
Was it P's first time? Oh.
Penelope, I want to say it might have been her first time, maybe second time.
Okay.
But we walk in. We're going to say it was her first time.
Sure, why not?
Get that dope. But I remember us just kind of walking through because I wanted to show her the neighborhood. And it's changed a lot. And it's super dope because now it's... The art, I feel, has really been enhanced. Like, there's so much more. The art is just alive. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
You've been there. You were there for a while. But I remember us walking through, going to the little shops, and I was just showing her whatever. And then I remember going into this one shop, coming out the shop, and I see this door. And I see things in there, old cameras, some drawings. It's just this little space. It was so, what do you call it? Comfortable, cozy. You know,
I love
when I
that.
saw it, and I was like, oh, what is that? And then I see you, and you're like, hey. Yeah, you were like, just like, hey, you can come in. This is my studio. And I was like, looking around. I was like, this is all yours? You were like, yeah. And I thought it was the dopest thing ever. Like I said, you were so inviting to energy. And it was dope. Your art, it was just different. It was so cozy and homey, but it was all you. Like, you can tell. Like, if you knew Jess, and I didn't know you well then. Not that we're BFFs, but...
But you know me.
Right. But so when I go in, I'm like, this is just all her. I love that. There's just your space, you know?
Yeah,
You were
that's how I
also
wanted it.
welcoming and inviting. Yeah, it was great. I remember I met you, my daughter met you the same day. We talked a little bit about, you know, I told you about what I do, and obviously I saw what you did. We exchanged info. Later on, I kept seeing your art. I was like, this is the dopest thing ever. I don't know what to do with it. I need more of it. And I know you were working through some things as far as the art, you know, itself. Then I remember you posted you were doing art lessons. Now, I don't draw. This is why I'm a photographer. I just take pictures of things. It's much easier that way. But
you appreciate it. Yeah.
No, I definitely did. I had my daughter, and I asked her, I was like, yo, do you want to learn how to draw? She was like, yeah, I'm down. Cool. My daughter's super open to everything.
Yeah.
And you've interacted with her because, you know, you taught her how to draw. We had those lessons going. She's not so much into it now, but she's also 16 and into her own world.
For
also,
sure.
We're going to Slipknot for Father's Day weekend.
Oh my God.
I know.
Look at you guys.
I know. We're just going to rock out.
2 peas in a pod.
Yeah. And did you say beans or pea? No, I'm kidding.
Ooh, beans.
Hey.
Let's say beans.
No, but yeah, it was dope to not only watch you interact with her, also her just growing within that. I remember you saying the first lesson that she had, you said that she was like on day 3, you know, compared to anybody else, right? On her first day, and I was like, here we go.
Buckle up.
That's it. You know, but it was dope. It was dope to see her, like, really, I feel like she's zoned in, and she's almost like her dad, where whatever it is that she does, she's gonna just do her best.
Yeah.
You know? One of the biggest things that I saw in you, and I remember telling you this, and I was always like, I hope it's not too much pressure. For me, it seemed like almost like a privilege, especially as an artist. But when it came to me trusting you with my daughter, you know, you guys were in that space, you know, drawing all that stuff. But to me, what I saw and the hopes was that she saw the same thing, was a Latina female artist. Those are the 3 things. You're obviously more than that, you know? But those are the 3 things that I saw that stood out the most, what I knew at the time. And it was like, know that is a big responsibility, but it's a good one to have.
Yeah.
Because for me, I saw my daughter and I was like, look, there is someone who looks like you, who is killing it, who's doing their own thing, who's going after theirs, who's making art, you know what I'm saying? And to me, to be able to have her interact with you was super dope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I hope that was never any pressure on you. But
No, not at all.
It was like, hey, it was almost like you know, the babies are watching. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, my baby, 16 and all, you know, she's watching you. She's
and I take that seriously.
Yeah.
Like, without you telling me, I take that very, very seriously. Even with my nieces, I take my time with them very seriously. Like, I just analyze what their mood is, and then kind of like try to snap them out of whatever maybe bad mood they're in, and, you know, limit technology and all that. Like, it's a big responsibility, whether it's my own family or not. So with her, I could sense that she needed like a little bit of spark, like something to kind of like shock her in. So I think kind of being on her ass sometimes in those sessions, like, no, try again. No, try again.
I like that.
Try that again. She was down for it, but you could tell she was just like, with each one, she would get more focused. And it wasn't just like, okay, draw whatever, like you're gonna try kind of a thing. So it was fun.
Right. Yeah,
that's dope.
super dope. I didn't even know that. I love that. I'm gonna go talk to her. Like, yo, did she hit you? And if you did,
I would never.
No.
Never.
I'm down. No, I'm kidding. I'll pay to watch. No, I'm kidding.
No, it was nice. And we'd walk down the street and look at actual buildings and like draw what we saw. And to just kind of emphasize, like, sometimes you do have to get out of your comfort zone and go outside and see new shit.
Definitely. You gotta come outside. You know,
we were on the sidewalk drawing, and she'd meet people and stuff. It was nice.
I love that. Yeah, it was so dope because when she'd come back with her sketchbook, and she'd have, and I was, she's like, yeah.
Nice.
And when you were like, yo, she's on day 1, she's on day 3.
Yeah, she's dope.
Whoa. I was like, all right, go.
Get it, Pete.
There you go. Yeah, man. She's definitely grown into her own. She's doing great. She's so smart.
She is.
She's way cooler than I am.
She's dope. And she has like this individuality to her. Like, she's very like her own person, mellow to the extreme, and it's like, I don't know if I'm right, but it seems like she doesn't feel the need to like fit in or anything. She's just her own person.
I think she does it well. And I love that about her. She's super open to different experiences.
Yes.
She's not like, no, I don't want to do that. And she's like,
Throwing
all right,
fit.
cool, I'll try it. And if I don't like it, great.
Yeah.
If I do it, but she still will try after it. It's super dope. So I appreciate you for being there.
Thank
for
you.
your art. Yeah, no, for real, own it, So like I said here at the Lemonade podcast, we have our guests talk about their lemons in life,
That was definitely one of them too, because
Okay.
I was struggling with money at that time. I think I was an artist in resident, or maybe I wasn't. No, not yet.
Okay.
But regardless, that whole time I was struggling.
Yeah.
So I was like, how can I help people and help myself at the same time? Like, I don't want to just get another job and get that income. Like, I would rather figure out a way that I can give and receive at the same time. So then the lessons came about.
Okay.
So that was definitely one of them. That's dope.
Definitely a lemon, man.
Yeah, that's a big one. And I met you and P and all that.
And that's the dope part too. Especially with art, you continue to branch out, and there's almost like a network of artists in there that you, like I said, even raw talent, like you never seen, and you're like, yo, this is totally different. And you talk about that individuality, especially for like Penelope, but sometimes these folk have like their own. And as much as sometimes I remember one time that I sent you something on Instagram, and you said, I don't really look at anybody's stuff because, what did you say?
It might influence my own.
Right.
Yeah, I don't.
And real talk, like that to me was like an eye opener, because I was like, yeah. So when people ask for inspo, as a shooter, I'm like, you know what? I don't use inspo anymore. I try not to.
Dope.
For real, because I'm like, I gotta dig deeper, because I love what I create when I go off in my own head. It's different, and I dig deeper, into the feelings and
same.
the darkness.
Yeah,
and,
that's a good place to be sometimes.
No, it is, because at least if you make something out of it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So struggling a little bit financially there, you said, yo, I'm gonna take what I do best and teach it, and hey, yo, if I can make some money off of it, dope.
Yeah.
Because you're supporting yourself off of your art.
Yeah.
Off of your craft.
And that was, I think, donation based. So it was like, if you can afford it, wonderful.
Yeah.
And if you can't, and I did that during COVID too. I would do like online lessons.
Yes, I remember.
And so some people were like, oh, I can only give this much. That's fine. Yeah, like
We're
a single
all
mom and
it's
stuff.
funny
Like, yeah.
2020, I call it the year of the lemon.
Yes, the
That's
biggest
like,
lemon ever.
That's the lemon to the world, So, yeah, that's one idea that we have brewing in the pot right now. So just keep an eye out for that. So moving on, now with the lemonade that you make, I mean, is there any other lemons that you use from life that that inspire you to do what you do?
I think there's a lot. I think I'm more open to the idea that like what crosses my mind isn't just something to toss away immediately. So like the mirrors that I started painting on,
Yes.
that came about because I just got tired of painting on the same things.
Yeah.
So I thought, what if I paint things that people use, and instead of like, and it was also a mix of like me having 2 mirrors in my bedroom. One's installed, so I can't get rid of it, and one is the one that I brought in, not knowing that one was there.
Gotcha.
And I got tired of like passing by them and seeing myself, so I was like, I'm gonna paint on it. Like I don't want to see myself constantly. So it was a mix of like all these different things, and then I ended up going to Goodwill and finding this really cute little like ornamental frame.
Okay.
And I put it up and realized I just put a third one. So it's like, no, I'm just gonna paint on it. So it's like things just naturally happen that way, as far as like picking things and being like, okay, well, what can I do with it? So that's gigantic. And then also like what I told you earlier of losing my job with like a 2-day notice and being like, oh fuck, like, okay, what am I gonna do now? Like, what can I paint on, or what can I kind of like scavenge and work with, I guess. So that's been
a limit
fun
right now. Oh, no, definitely. And I think we touched upon that earlier in the conversation before we began the conversation here, is, you know, making something out of nothing. You know,
that's the best part. And then you just kind of mash it together, and sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but you try.
did it. Right.
Yeah.
You went after it. You know? One of the coolest things I think that we're doing here is exactly that. You know, we just go after ours.
Yeah.
And we're here, you know, in the beginning, you know, with our, what I call tagline of encourage, inspire, and empower. You know, it was that, like I used that, and I was like, well, what we do, can that do that for other people?
Yeah.
You know, not only for, like I said, our guests, you know, I hope that we can do that by them sharing their story, their lemons, the lemonade, you know, all that. But those people listening that are like in any situation, you know, whether it be financially, something from at home, and emotional stuff, mental health, like, you know, and they're like, I don't know where else to go, I don't know what to do. And, you know, hopefully these stories here inspire those people to go after theirs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because once again, the dopest part about creating is that really, if you aren't commissioned, let's just say this, if you aren't commissioned, and I found this myself, it's just, you just create it for the hell of it, and it's for you because of whatever reason, right? Whatever, maybe lemon or however. And there's no one there paying you to do it, telling you to do it. It's like, yo, you did it off your own, and when you look at it, you're like, yo, no one can take this away from me, you know, because you went for it. Instead of sitting there, oh, I could have done this, could have, should have. Like, nah, we're not doing it anymore. We're going after it. Hence the fucking podcast. Like, hey, I have an idea. Great. Let me roll with it. Give me one. And then what was dope, and I tell people now, it's like I tell you, you know, allowing people in my creative space was like, I don't know about that. However,
it's scary.
It is, because I say this, once I create something or I'm creating, you come through and you're like, hey, let me add this. It's no longer mine. It's ours, which is dope. But I want it to be mine, you know?
Yeah.
And this is just my own issues. You know what I mean? Is of,
but you make magic with it.
Yeah, if I fail, I'm gonna fail on my own. It's because of me. If I win, same thing. However, what I've learned in this process, and shout out to Matt and Mike, is when I allow those people to come into the space, I've been able to grow. Not only myself, but also the idea, the movement, what we're doing here. And it's amazing.
Yeah.
I get even more hyped. You know what I mean? Yeah, so having you here, it hypes me up, because I'm like, yes, everybody needs to gather around right now, gather your children, you know? But it's just like, we're just like anybody else. But we decided to go for ours. Take the lemon, make lemonade, pour it onto the world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
and I think we should, because a lot of people didn't have that luxury to be able to do that. And I think I was explaining this to somebody where, like, I remember my dad telling me that when he was younger, he wanted to be a boxer. And so he was training with, like, this guy with a lot of, like, experience behind him. I guess he trained really big people. Yeah. So my dad was really going to make it. And there were pictures of him, like, with his gloves and everything, but whatever. Like, he found out that my mom was pregnant. So at that time, they didn't have the luxury to choose to take a risk or not. And so he ended up taking a job at a gas station to pay for the Ford shit. And like to this day, he watches boxing matches. He'll talk to me about it. He'll rant about it. He's so passionate, but it's like heartbreaking because he could have been that, and it's probably still replaying in his head of like his dream, you know? And so I think the biggest way to like honor that is to do that yourself. And so, I mean, he understood it to a certain extent. Like, he wasn't super encouraging like my mom was, who was like, oh, you quit again? Like, you're gonna get a studio and you can barely afford it? Like, my mom was always, okay, go, do it. If you feel like that's best, because she knew I had a good head on my shoulders, so I wasn't just blindly doing shit. I mean, I was, but I wasn't.
No, I get it.
And my dad was more like, well, have a job as backup and then do what you're doing, which is fair, and I understand.
No, definitely. He's a parent.
He's that kind of guy, and it makes sense. I just would leap constantly.
But that, you know what's funny? Because like I see that and I'm like, yo, that's how they raised you. They allow you to leap since you were young. That's just me. That's how I see it. That's just, I have the same thing. Like my mom is like, she never negated. She never downplayed anything I would say, think, or do.
Wow.
And you know, and I would say this too before. It's like not in a bratty way, but I was never told no. You know, I was go ahead. And I, you know, good or bad, I learned lessons, but I went for mine. And even today now, it's like I feel like somewhat of fearless. Like, I'm just going to try it out. See what's going to happen. Who's going to tell me no? I'm telling me yes, and that's all that matters. So.
Yeah. That's the way to, I think, be with anything. Is like, if it feels right, then you can't really go wrong. You can't make a wrong decision. If you feel like you're doing, if you have the best intention and a genuine intention.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
And this just, it all ties into everything that we do here, you know? Because, yes, we understand that financially, we need a 9 to 5 sometimes. I have a 9 to 5, but I still come home, work on my craft. I shoot, you know, I have clients. I do it for fun sometimes, you know. I just came back from the dunes. 4 hour round
and now we're here.
I got sand in my shoes right now.
Oh, you're all dusty right now.
But I'm good because the people that went with me, they were all over the sand. And good luck to them.
Those looked fun.
Oh no, and it
looked hot as fuck.
No, you know what? It wasn't as hot. So I'm glad we went during sunrise. But it was fun. I had so much fun that the time just flew. And I remember just jumping around in the dunes, just like
frolicking.
I really was. Just, you know, I'm a old ass motherfucker. You know what I mean? I threw my camera and I'm like, hell yeah! I'm like getting the shot. I was so hyped. I was happy. I was in my zone, and I love that because I'm like, I have this as a creator. I recently said I'm a creator. Period.
Yes.
You know, you have to own, and I tell people on here, people that I talk to, own that. Whatever it is that you feel you're going after, that really there's a fire within, own it. And trust me, you continue to fuel it. Grow, and you just can, just burn this motherfucker down.
And to own it, it takes so much effort because it's like, I don't know, you don't want to come off like flipping your hair and be like, oh, I'm an artist or photographer or whatever.
I don't have that issue. Maybe my hair. No.
But I mean,
you're boasting or even bragging. Not at all. But you have to believe it.
Right. There's a big difference.
You do. Yeah.
And once you believe it, I feel like it all becomes a lot more clear, and like the fear dissipates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You heard it here, folks. No, for real.
Dissipate.
It does.
It's
just. Word. And I think that's the thing. What I tell you is like I just do things fearlessly.
I admire that.
I'm like, yo, okay, cool. Like, well, what if? Here's the thing. I have conversations with certain people, and they're like, well, we don't have this, we don't have that, we don't. This is the issue. That.
I used to be that for sure.
And no, trust me, I've been there. But I'm like, okay, cool. You just told me what we don't have.
Yeah.
None of that is gonna help me. What do we have to build on? Okay, we have this, we have that. Got it.
And everyone needs that person. So,
you
should be proud that you're that.
Thank you.
You're that guy.
But that takes practice too. That takes like you know, just look as a creator. You look at a piece of clay. We're sitting here.
I want to
with
play.
Clay.
With
I'm not
it.
sitting here. Oh, I don't have this, that, and the other. I'm saying I have this piece of clay. You're not focused on what you don't. You're focused on what you do have, and then you continue to mold and create, and just all of a sudden, boom.
It's a vase.
Exactly.
Ta-da.
It's all fucked up. Has a hole in it. It's cool.
Whatever.
You
I
know?
did my best.
Yeah, but you created something. But
Yeah.
like I said, something out of nothing. But even if, don't worry about what you don't have. It's fine. It's not there, so you ain't gonna miss it.
True.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
Hey, if you have it, cool. All right, we got. Look, I have lemons. I have water. Some sugar. Might be a little bitter, but look, I just made lemonade. Boom. Period. You know
Bam.
what I mean?
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
I agree.
It's the dopest time to be here, to be alive, especially in this time, because there's so many resources out there. Maybe people aren't really digging into that, That's what I'm saying. Is like, explore whatever you feel inside. Even that idea of, I think I'm gonna start making shoelaces. I don't know.
Maybe that's your next thing.
I'm saying
God just spoke.
Nah, you know what I mean? But it's like, cool. And then you start making a brand, and all of a sudden, guess what? You're the biggest shoelace designer out there.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there, manifesting. You know what I mean? So, no, for real. And like I said, you just gotta take that and go with it. Let that fire burn. You know? Like I said, don't worry about what you don't have. What you do have is what you have. Try and do what you can with that. And start connecting with people. Get with those folks, those creative folks, and see what they may have. You know what I mean?
I remember when I was living with Mario. So I had my studio, and then I closed it because I was going to be an artist in resident with this guy Mario, who was a founder of Chicano Park. And so that was really major for me. And I figured, like, if I have all this space, then I don't really need this. And he is an intense character. Like, he has enthusiasm. He's almost like a gypsy kind of guy. You don't really know what he's thinking. Using like what he can to have events, or like using his house as an art gallery. And before that, I was definitely in that like state of mind of like, I don't have enough, so I can't do what I need to do, until I lived with him for a year. And I was like, oh shit, this is amazing. Like, I don't know how I was thinking that way before, and now I'm this.
Yeah.
It's dope.
I'm done.
How things just flow, and you kind of turn into that sometimes.
Like I said, you gotta believe it, and just apply it, and just go. And go, because, 10 years later, you might be like, I could have, should have. But
that's worse.
Or you could go ahead and start working, and those 10 years, you're like, in those 10 years, I did this, and the other. Cool. Jack of all trades. Yeah, I didn't master any of it, but guess what? I did all of this.
Yeah.
Or you could have mastered all.
Yeah, that's the goal.
No, I like that I have this, that, and the other.
Yeah, you
dig
should.
that. It makes me happy, because creatively, I'm still in that space.
Right. And you can offer that to like other people who might need it or whatever.
And this is exactly what I feel like we're doing here with the Lemonade Podcast, with the Lemonade Movement, is to be able to have those people. Like I said, for me, it's just a way of giving back, because I know, like I said with my nephew, and when I saw your art, I was like, yo, we need more people. Like, more people need to see this. And I didn't know how big or small you were, you know what I mean? But I was like, this is dope. And so I would always like tag you, post your stuff on my story. You know, what else you got?
You were super supportive.
I see your sketches, and I was like, I need that one. Give me that one.
I was like, oh my God.
Asking for students?
No, not at all. I was just like, I think I was definitely doing my thing, but underground. Like, I didn't really want to show it. I think that was like my safe space, was that little space. Like, okay, I'm doing something, and I'm branching out from like hiding it in my room or from everyone. But it's a step, from that. Yeah. And, it was just interesting. Like, I even wanted my own first solo art show to not have anything related to like, of like literal, like a face of me. I didn't want my name on there. I just wanted it to be like, this is the art. Like, come. But it's,
come check out art.
But that was also fear-based. Like, I don't want to be in the...
And you know, as artists, creatives, I feel like you work through your issues with your art. You can. That's the dopest part, like I said, is you take that and flip it, and
It flipped on me though, because that night I was like, I don't have enough pieces, and so I hit her up and I was like, can I just do a live mural on this big ass white wall that she had? And she was like, yeah, of course. Nice. So I ended up blaring my music the way I always did, and just had my back to everyone, and I turned around and it was just full. Like people were looking in from the outside, like the entire night. And my sister, my brother-in-law, and my cousin came by, and were like, they're here for you, like, because they hadn't really seen it. They hadn't come out to Logan or anything.
Were you like, yeah, bitch? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, flip. flip. No, but it was like, it's cool to like be able to show them that I'm not just lounging around, not doing anything. Right. It was their first time seeing that, like, it is for something.
Right.
It was dope.
That's dope, because that in itself was an installation. You know,
yeah.
Like, you just show up, it's like, this is live art. It's real time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I wanted to give that. I wanted it to be like, I had my setup in front too, like my brushes and then the music and like the mistakes were being made there. So it was fun.
That's dope. Man, wish I would have been there. No. Question, who did you have playing?
Oh my God. A lot of Peter Cat Recording Company. Okay. It's this band from India, but they have like this...
I felt like you sent me, and I was like, okay, I'm digging it.
Yeah.
But it was like back then.
When I first discovered them, I was just sending them out to everyone.
Yeah,
so
that's what you do. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what I did with you too. Like I was like, oh, dope. She's dope. I want to buy everything. I fill my house because I just moved into that space. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I'm gonna put everything out.
So definitely them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's dope.
They're gorgeous. I still play them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. At this point, really, it's just towards the end of the conversation. You know, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for your time, your energy, your story. Yo, just what you do, your art is, to me, it meant so much. The interactions we've had, the talks we've had, like I said, for me, your interaction in teaching my daughter, you know, just meant so much because I know to me, you are an example of what the kids could be, you know? It's, you know, hometown hero type of shit, you know, someone to look up to, you know, just that.
That's sweet.
No,
Thank you.
And I'm just being real because I know we had a conversation before about this when people were like, yo, you know, my mom and my pops, this, that, and the other. So we forget that at least our first heroes are those at home. You know, if you really look at it,
they are.
Who's putting in the work? Who's rooting you on? Who's maybe going after theirs?
Yeah,
you know,
them first and foremost, because they gave up what they wanted to do to give us what we want.
Exactly.
And so if you're not taking advantage of that, then
right. And you said
it's fucked.
Yeah, you said it like you kind of like. I don't want to say you owe it to them, you know what I mean? But it's like, yo, by you going after yours, it's like, yo, we all made it.
Yeah.
Good deal. You know what I mean? Like, I know that you missed out, but I'm going to go for mine, and it's because of you.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. You know, so, what's up? Do you have it? Did you have a question, Matt?
Yeah.
Matt has a question for you, Jess.
Woo-hoo.
So, now, see, this part of the show, Matt gets real deep with his thoughts.
Yeah. Same.
Okay, so just do your thing and we'll ask the question.
If you could have any song play when you walk into the room, but it has to be for the rest of your life,
oh my God,
what song would it be?
Oh God, only because if you know me, it fits my personality that it's so stupid and whimsical.
Okay.
Like, it's just probably the last song I would want, but really the first. It's the Nancy Sinatra. I got some troubles, but they all have.
You can sing it. Yeah. I don't know.
Sugartown.
Sugartown by Nancy Sinatra.
Yeah, it's just so stupid and
it's
silly.
It's your intro song.
Yeah, just like My Head in the Clouds kind of.
I like it. Yeah. That sounds like something. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. We'll have to play that for the outro for you. No.
Yeah, as I walk up.
Yeah. So, once again, Jess, thank you for being here. Thank you for your time, your energy, like I say, your story, for sharing your lemons, the lemonade. Please continue to make that lemonade pour onto the world. And to you, we toast today. Give it a sip. And
thank you.
See you all the next time.
Thank you.
Here you go.
I slurped. Damn it.
I can see
The bottoms. I know.
I forgot the toast.
No.
That's fine. So,
That's good.
It's dying. You're good, right? Turn it off. It's cool.
Thank you.
Did you have fun?
I did.
It's good. Yeah, I like it.
Fucking what? It's the one labeled camera?
What?
No.
Who'd have thought?
What's a camera?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen like just kind of like maybe do a little bit of like and shit like that. Be a hella boomer. You know what I mean? Do record videos and stuff.
Yeah.
And that way my nephew stops complaining about, bro, I wasn't there. I need some behind the scenes. Shut up, bitch. Lemonade, motherfucker.